Hi, Toei Carlson here. If you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know that I'm a fan of the Dragon Ball franchise. This poster right here probably pretty much tells you that. And I've reviewed a few Dragon Ball discs and box sets and things on this channel. When I went over to Zia Records a few weeks ago and did a trade-in, I found something pretty cool. This is the original DVD release of the movie Tree of Might, back before Funimation started using their in-house voice actors. So this is back when they had Peter Kalamis as Goku, who had replaced the original adult Goku voice actor in America, Ian James Corlett, and Scott McNeil as Piccolo, still my preferred actor for that character. The first three movies, back when Pioneer had the license and Funimation hadn't started doing everything in-house yet, are all uncut releases, although the episode DVDs from back then were all censored. I'm going to do an unboxing of this release, and I'll share some comments. Here's the front cover. Got that old American Dragon Ball Z logo that kind of fades from orange to yellow, top to bottom. It was replaced with a logo that was just some of the letters yellow, some of the letters red on later releases, more like what we got internationally. Nice cover art there of Goku with Turles, the villain from the movie. Spine text and spine photo right there. Back cover has a description of the movie, some pictures, description of the bonus features. Inside the case, one of the first things that we see is they actually included a booklet. Even Funimation's individual DVDs after they took over in-house production didn't usually have these. Got the cover art right there. Chapter selects right there. And inside we actually have a few pictures from the movie and some descriptions of events. It even says right here, could Goku defeat evil Turles and save the Earth? If you follow Dragon Ball for any length of time, you know the answer to that question. And the disc itself is actually very interesting looking. It has this sort of silver printed art. It doesn't really show up too well on camera, but it's interesting looking as opposed to the more normal discs we've gotten in recent years. Tree of Might was the third of the theatrical Dragon Ball Z movies. This time around, Turles, an evil Saiyan who looks similar to Goku, comes to Earth to plant seeds for the Tree of Might, something that he can eat the fruit of and become more powerful. Unfortunately, doing this actually pretty much destroys the planet and drains it of all of its natural resources. So needless to say, the Z fighters need to step into action to fight the bad guys and try to get rid of them so that the Tree of Might doesn't destroy the Earth. This is admittedly not one of my favorite Dragon Ball movies. It is a little formulaic. Basically, the heroes all get their butts kicked and Goku has to save the day. This formula is used throughout the franchise for a lot of the movies. There's not really a whole lot that makes this one stand out in my mind, but it does have some interesting designs for the villains. And the character Turles is an interesting possibility for what Goku might have turned out like had he not been sent to Earth as a baby and kept serving the Saiyans and Frieza's army. This is, again, the older cast of the show prior to Funimation taking over in-house, so Peter Kalamis has never really been my favorite Goku, but you do have a lot of pretty solid voice actors despite that, including Scott McNeil as Piccolo, and he's still my favorite person to ever voice that character. The English dub and sub versions are both on this. It's a pretty good English dub that's actually, in my opinion, closer to the original than the later Funimation dub. There were actually two dubs of this movie that were done by this voice cast. The uncut one that was done for the uncut dubbed VHS and this DVD release, and a tamer, watered down, edited for TV version that was later shown as a three-parter back when the show was in weekend morning syndication. That version was also compiled and used as the edited version that aired on Cartoon Network back when they showed the movies. So this was actually a pretty interesting find, and I am happy to add anything that's kind of older and obscure like this to my Dragon Ball Z collection. And if I can find the older DVDs of The World's Strongest, Dead Zone, and maybe even some of those other things, I'll post videos with reactions for those as well. Picture quality, admittedly, is not the best on here, but I am glad to see it's not one of those transfers that's just caked with digital noise reduction and cropped. This is presented in a 4:3 ratio open matte. They did crop the movies for the theatrical airings in Japan originally, and even the early Funimation in-house releases of the DVDs were 4:3, although they cropped them to 16:9 to fit widescreen TVs, which is actually closer to how those looked on Japanese movie theater screens. So it is interesting to look at these open matte releases because you actually do see a little more of the picture, even if it wasn't necessarily all meant to be seen originally, due to the expectation that these movies would be cropped for theatrical exhibition. Along those lines, one flaw that this release does have is there is sort of a grayish line along the left side of the screen. Not really sure what that's all about, or if that was on any of the other older Dragon Ball DVDs prior to the in-house Funimation stuff, but it is noticeable and worth mentioning. The menus on the disc are a little clumsy and difficult to navigate. You can kind of tell this was a really early DVD, but there are some bonus features including character profiles and even a Dragon Ball Z quiz. There's also a directory of all the VHS and DVD releases that were out at the time when Pioneer had the license and was putting out stuff like this. Again, Tree of Might has since been redubbed, and there have been, other uncut subtitled versions, plus the more recent Funimation releases of the movie. I'm hoping we're going to get like proper 4K masters of all the movies eventually, but one can only hope. Are you a fan of Dragon Ball Z, and what's your opinion on Tree of Might? Do you own this older DVD or one of the more recent ones? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content because I'm always posting new videos. Make sure to give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. See you next time.